A module called Chrome in Total indicates that Google uses data from its Chrome browser for ranking.
Which is kind of obvious, like as if people didn't guess Google was going to do this. They removed Google is not evil from the charter years ago. So they use your data from Chrome for ranking. So based on all your browsing, they know everything that's happening.
Brand matters. Rand said, if there was one universal piece of advice I had for marketers seeking to broadly improve their organic search rankings and traffic, it would be build a notable, popular, well-recognized brand in your space outside of Google search.
Bit of a side tip for everyone here. I always used to recommend if you want like a lo-fi, easy to use, kind of like you just want to drag and drop, like not professional editing. I've always said use like Camtasia. That's what I used to say. CapCut is just crazy. It is so good for a free version. And if you pay like a little bit more, you can get like extra transitions, but for free on your phone or on your desktop, man, it blew my mind. Welcome to Inbound Buzz. My name is Moby Sadiq and you are joining me and Semi for episode 162. Semi, how are you today?
Very well. Thank you, Moby.
So some big news today from Google, right? So this is the first time, I don't think this has ever happened before. Google's algorithm was leaked.
Yes.
Right? A whole bunch of, now why this has shocked people is because there's things that previously Google has said that isn't true or is true, but it's the news has come out to the contrary. So in other words, like Google's lied. Surprise.
Yeah,
right?
Validated.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We can't wait to talk about that.
Yes,
It's a featured
absolutely.
buzz today. But we have some featured news today. What's first on the list?
Absolutely. So first one, TikTok launches management platform for creators. So it's called TikTok Studio. And the idea is this is where, creators can now manage everything on their platform.
Uploads,
downloads on a PC, just gives them a lot more features. I think the question now is like, is TikTok moving into more of like a YouTube? Or is YouTube moving into TikTok?
That's a really
TikTok.
good question, which I want to get back to because I think it's such a good question you posed. Now, this stuff has always been around, but TikTok is just making it easier and easier and easier in one place. Like, so from now you can actually, one place, you can sign in, upload, create, edit, do everything, schedule from one place. And then TikTok is just like showing all the algorithms how it's done. So like even like, for example, CapCut as a bit of a side tip for everyone here. I always used to recommend if you want like a lo-fi, easy to use, kind of like you just want to drag and drop, like not professional editing, because we have those tools, but we don't need it. I've always said use like Camtasia. That's what I used to say.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And then there was another one, Movi. CapCut is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like it is so good for a free version. And if you pay like a little bit more, you can get like extra transitions, but for free on your phone or on your desktop, man, it blew my mind like what you can get for free. And that's why I say that it's owned by TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can, it's kind of like a baby version of this creator studio you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can create your TikTok on your desktop, put all the tags, put everything and then schedule it.
Yeah.
So TikTok's just showing how it's done. But let's go back to your question because I think that's a real important one.
So yeah, it's like, is TikTok becoming more like YouTube and YouTube becoming more like TikTok?
They're becoming like TikTok. Like Reels came from copying TikTok. YouTube Shorts came from copying TikTok. And like now there's this whole, which is really sad, right? Like now, like they have the best algorithm on earth. I always
YouTube or TikTok?
TikTok, yeah. I always say that like if you're sitting next, like, I'll joke to women. I'm like, women, ladies, if you're sitting next to your man and in his feed, they all these like bikini photos and ass shots keep coming up and he's like, oh, I don't know why TikTok's showing me this. It's because your man likes ass shots and like bikini bottoms. Like that's what he likes. Like he bases it on dwell.
He spends longer time looking at them, even though he might not necessarily like them.
Yeah,
right?
and the fact that, I'm not going to get political because we don't do that on this show, but the fact that the US government is getting rid of TikTok and trying to suppress it because it is so skewed to what people want is a real freaking shame in my mind.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I'm team TikTok.
Did you know, on a side note, this is like YouTubers got gaming now? I don't know if you know that.
Right, okay, no, I didn't know that.
That's came out, I think. They've got like, now you can play games and stuff on the beta version.
Yeah, wow.
So I don't know what's YouTube doing.
They got YouTube has music too now, competing with Spotify. Yeah, there you go.
They're trying to get in. All right, next one. Walmart launches immersive digital shopping experience, right? So this is like your metaverse.
Pretty much metaverse, man.
Metaverse
is
shopping.
back.
So instead of you walking out in the rain to go get your shopping groceries and stuff and bits and pieces from Walmart, right? You can just put your Apple Vision Pros, sit in your lounge, and then do your shopping. You might need to move a little bit, I guess.
I find it really funny. Everyone's walked away from this metaverse label. Like Apple is so good at creating, I know we're talking about Walmart, but you said Apple, they're so good at creating their own terms, their own ecosystems. Like when the Vision Pros came out, they said nothing about metaverse, nothing. And even Walmart too, like immersive digital shopping, but it's technically metaverse. So like, how would you explain it, Semi?
That's exactly right.
You're in there and you're
in there. You've got like, you put your, it's like, the thing is, they've got different themes, right? So the idea is if someone is into some themes for a specific space, like you want
a Western theme.
Yeah, a Western theme or like, aquatic center, whatever that looks like. You want to go shopping in an aquatic center? Yeah, you can dive in and like, you can pick up your stuff that you want to. This then poses the question of like, how do you, make sure you've got the right quality, like if I know we know that Temu stories where like people purchase stuff online and it's like a couch and it comes in like a baby couch.
Yeah,
I know if you've seen those ones before.
Dude, that actually happened to my uncle. Because I got a free couch for my kids. He bought a chair and he's a big man. He's 6 foot something.
It looks pretty big on Temu,
and then
right?
arrived and he's like, what is this?
What is this? Yeah, like a small one. So maybe that might be the case with Walmart. But yeah, it's just, I think the question here is like, are they doing something else to solve like societal problem?
Look, I think it's just engaging, innovative. They're just trying to keep it, like
another
their
way
mainstream.
Of buying stuff.
Yeah, another way of buying stuff. Roblox. It's Robux that is the currency in Roblox. Like that's what the new generation is doing. That's what they're skewed towards. That's where my kids hang out and have fun and play games. You know what I mean? So they're just tailoring for that next wave of shopping.
Yeah. It's like Amazon with their checkoutless shops. You just go in there, pick up whatever you want, walk out with it. It charges you.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go.
All right, last one. What do we got?
Last one. So PayPal, this is an interesting one. PayPal announces plans to create a new advertising platform rooted in transaction data. So let me break this down a little bit, right? PayPal is getting into ad businesses. This means that they've got like data on your transaction history, over nearly 400 million active users.
It's crazy.
Like that means that they know they cross platform as well. So they know your data from Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever whatever data that you use for what platform, but you still purchase off PayPal. And because you've got access to that transaction data, people are saying like, this is just thought process here. PayPal will provide ways for businesses to advertise online on websites and apps and use the information that PayPal knows about people, their transactions, purchasing history to target them specifically.
Yeah.
So in another, like the way I thought about it was, so that if I want to launch a platform or something, I would then do a bit of research. And instead of looking at, okay, we'll launch on TikTok, Instagram, whatever that looks like. Okay, cool. People are buying similar products on Instagram for my specific product.
Yeah, it's nothing new. This playbook has been done before. Like some people will be like, that's annoying, but like it's happening to you all the time.
Absolutely.
It's PayPal. I mean, who even uses PayPal anymore? I can't remember the last time I've used PayPal, to be honest. So
400 million users, I guess. But
they've got a lot of people using it, but it's like they've got to do something. And data is king,
Yeah. We're in the age of data. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's move on to our featured buzz. I'm so excited to talk about this. There's going to be a lot of crap that's going to come out of this. There's a lot of things that we already knew. And there's things that, to be honest, I thought were already happening, like engagement. If you can keep someone engaged on your website, it affects and impacts SEO. But what's come out now is thousands of documents which appear to be from Google's internal content API warehouse were released and recently shared with Rand Fishkin. So he is the founder of SparkToro. But if you don't know Rand Fishkin or you're new to the show, we actually had him on the show a long time ago. Amazing gentleman. He used to have a tool, Semi. They were the OG tool called Moz or SEO Moz, right? And it was an SEO tool. And I think he sold it. Anyway, he's got a long story. But the thing about Rand, he's never been scared of Google. He's always been critical of Google, and rightly so. Like he's always called them out. He was one of the first persons to, I think anyway, to share the data on the fact that, over 60% or close to 60%, if not more now these days, of Google searches result in 0 clicks. Because you search for something, you get the data in Google. Like we ordered lunch today with Pizza Burger, which is like a thing to behold. It's a pizza and a burger in one.
Sneakies.
From Sneakies. And we didn't have to go onto the website.
Yeah.
Like that's just a basic example.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't have to go beyond the click. So he's always been really critical, right? Anyway, someone reached out to him and shared that all that with him, and we're going to essentially unpack a lot of that today.
Yeah, it's that's like, it's really interesting because like, you know, is this what Google wanted? Was it like an internal leak, do you reckon, or was it just like?
No, I don't think so, because it
was an accidental
contradicts them. Like it can't, like people like Matt Cutts and John Mueller, like they've always understood. The problem now is that when these people say something, no one's going to believe them anymore. So like the OGs of Google, like, oh, that doesn't matter, and that doesn't matter, and that doesn't matter. People aren't really going to believe them because they've kind of been called out. So a lot of things we knew, a lot of things were obvious, you should be doing anyway. Some things we didn't know, but some things it has contradicted what Google has said. So that's why it's shaken the community.
All right, let's get into it. So these are the things that they
these are top 10 things. There's a lot, but these are the top 10 things we thought were worth. So if you know nothing else, these just top 10 things I think will make a big impact. Yeah.
So change history, right? So Google apparently keeps a copy of every version of every page it has ever indexed. Damn. Meaning can remember every change ever made to a page.
Which is crazy, right? But what the data does now, by the way, I will say all of these things, what the leak doesn't tell us is the weighting. We don't know the weighting.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But we do know these are factors.
Like 10%, 20%,
factors
we don't know,
that
right?
We don't
like,
know.
yeah.
But the thing is, it can only remember the last 20 changes of a URL when analyzing links or anything. So for example, like say you had a bad page and you paid someone for really, really bad SEO, and you've got these really bad links on your website or pointing from their website to yours, whatever it is. You would have to get those pages changed 20 times for Google to figure that out. Or say you pivoted your business, right? And then now you've got a page and you sort of want to trigger, you don't want Google to remember those versions. You'd have to change it 20 times, which to be honest is a good thing to know at least. You'd have to change it 20 times. I don't know if and when you'd want to do that. There's probably good reasons like business shift or focus or bad data or whatever. But you'd have to change it 20 times for it to actually, for Google to kind of forget about those old pages.
There you go. So second one, in links matter. So
backlinks specifically.
Backlinks specifically, right? So this doesn't prove Google spokesperson have lied about links not being a top 3 ranking factor or links mattering less for ranking. Two things can be true at once. Again, we don't know how any of these features are weighted.
Yeah, I think, look, I do understand from Google's point of view as well, because marketers ruin everything and a lot of people just abuse everything. So if Google actively, from this point of view, I'll actually defend Google, because if Google's like, oh yeah, backlinks matter, they say that, everyone will just smash the shit out of it. And for them, it's like a headache. It's like, man, there's extra load for our engines and crawlers and stuff.
Yeah.
So what it proves is, again, so what we're saying, it doesn't necessarily mean that links don't matter.
It could be 2%.
Yeah, like it doesn't mean that Google's lied, although I would still question. Google will try to grasp the signals that it can.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you're in an industry, right, and there's not much happening, it's not very competitive, like certainly not our industry, but it's not a competitive industry. It's maybe, I don't know, like ceramic pots or something. Someone's going to tell me that it is, you know,
very competitive.
But say ceramic pots aren't, right?
Yeah.
And you build a couple of links and title tags and you do some keyword stuffing, you're probably going to outrank everyone else who's not doing nothing.
Yeah.
So Google just grab the strings that it can, you know?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It depends on the industry, depends where you're at. We do know links still matter. And just make sure they're credible and make sure they're related and not just rubbish links.
Yeah, quality over quantity again. So 3.
Oh, I love this one.
Successful clicks matter. What does that mean?
Yeah, so this one this for me, it wasn't like a no-brain, like this is a no-brainer for him, like a duh, like hasn't that been obvious? But maybe there wasn't evidence before. So what we're talking about is a successful link click. Say, Semi, you've got a website, right? And someone sees it on Google and they click on it. And then they snoop around, they spend a minute, they click on another page, whatever. That Google's, engines can sort of say, okay, you know what? That was a successful click. That was good data because Semi spent some time. It must have been engaging. There was something of note there. Now, if you went there and you're like, and you left right away, that's unsuccessful. Now, it doesn't matter what Semi does, but if there's enough people doing that behavior, Google's algorithm is really clever to figure out whether it's engaging or not. So I've always said, and I've always maintained this, because for me, it's like I always say Google now is a art, not a science, right? It's common sense. Like Google's trying to reward good content, Like that's why we focus on they ask you answer, right? Someone's asking for something, you answer with good content.
Yeah.
So we've always said if you can keep someone on a website like 5 seconds longer than your competitor, it's going to be a good engagement signal. And it's really good in my mind, to be honest, to finally get some concrete data behind this.
Yeah, absolutely. It does resolve a lot of like queries. Like it's basically like opens up the, it's like a cheat sheet, when you're in an exam or something, it's like, don't worry about what the weightings are, but these are the results for it. Like, oh, thank God, at least I got some clarity around what this looks like. Yeah. That's what it feels like.
To be honest, that for me is probably one of my favorites because I'm big on engagement and content and data. But yeah, all right, cool. Number 4.
Brand matters, right? Rand said, if there was one universal piece of advice I had for marketers seeking to broadly improve their organic search rankings and traffic, it would be build a notable, popular, well-recognized brand in your space outside of Google search.
So Rand has always been a fan of brand. And rightly so. Honestly, I'm with him on this one.
Realize it like rhymes.
yeah, maybe that's why. But he's always been a fan. He's always been pushing that. And now there's like data, for this. I 100% agree. 100% agree. And it gives more credence to the idea of, because there's some people who see marketing as a profit center and others that see it as a cost center.
Yeah.
The ones that see it as a cost center won't invest in podcasts, won't invest in webinars. Like if I can't spend $1 and get $1, I'm not doing it. But that's not how content works. That's not how even attribution works anymore. So like these things are really important. Like things like podcasting, building a brand, creating content, that is tailored to your persona. Some of the content is bottom of funnel. A lot of it should be.
Yeah.
And then it's middle of funnel or top of funnel, right? Like we've got a solar client we talk about, they might have content around micro versus string inverters, but at the same time, they might have content around, okay, what should I do to reduce my bills? What type of washing machine should I buy? Like as a shitty example, right?
Yeah.
But the point is like that stuff is very, very important because your brand resonates and that's a signal for Google.
Yeah, there you go. It's good information to kind of get reassurance on, So the next one is site authority. Google has denied having a website authority score in the years since then.
Yeah, so PageRank used to be a thing back in the 2000s, 2010s, and they've denied that being like, we don't look at that anymore. But that's not true.
Like page rankings?
Like it was called PageRank.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
It's called PageRank. It's actually it's actually really misleading. So Larry Page is one of the founders of Google. Okay. So it's based on his name, but it also happens to be Page. But site authority is really, really important. So if I have a website, you have a website, your one has better site authority than me, your content is even not as good as mine, it's going to be much harder for me to fight. I think we knew this already, to be honest, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah, there you go. Number 6, site content is important. So you should block, remove pages that are not typically relevant. So if engagement of a page is bad, no links pointing to it, and page has had plenty of opportunity to thrive, it should be eliminated.
This one was an interesting one because a lot of these things are rumors or we weren't sure. This one I never believed, but I'm like, this one kind of educated me. If you have pages that aren't topically relevant, and what they're saying is, say you've had all these pages, because we've got that on our site.
Yeah.
Old pages, right?
Yeah.
Like we're a business almost 10 years old now. There's pages from long, long ago that don't even mean anything to our business. Like, just leave it. No, don't. If that page has had time to thrive and the signals are low, like people are bouncing and whatever, and then you have some really good pages that you focus on, still block or remove those bad pages because it will affect your SEO. And to be honest, Sammy, this is something we're going to take back to the team on with our clients.
Yeah.
And either recommend if they're coaching or if they're done for you, we'll do that for them and remove it because it's no longer, it's more important now than we thought it was.
So is it saying a quality over quantity on your page site too, rather than your content?
Yeah, quality over quantity. And if there's pages with low quality, get rid of them.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. Yeah.
So good. Number 7, so your navigation is important. So you can get a ranking demotion if navigation gets you a poor user experience.
I like this one. I really do like this one.
Explain
Anything with user experience, I love. So if your navigation, your website navigation, that's the biggest thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
There's something even called Nav Boost that I didn't know about before, which is related to this. And also how you just navigate the website
where you put your buttons, where you put your links.
Yeah.
You know.
If that's poor, that's going to affect it could give you, it apparently will give you a ranking demotion.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So does that mean those templates that people get is like, okay?
No, not necessarily. Like it depends on the template. It's got nothing to do with whether it's a template or not.
There you go. Number 8, Chrome data. A module called Chrome in Total indicates that Google uses data from its Chrome browser for ranking.
Yeah, so we've tried to keep the tech side away from the show, but that's an example of what you just mentioned, Semi. It's a module. So in this document, there's all these modules like Nav Boost, whatever. This one was Chrome in Total. So if you use Chrome, to be honest, I've always been a Firefox user. Like I've been kind of like on the outside using Firefox, but Google, which is kind of obvious, like as if people didn't guess Google was going to do this. They removed Google is not evil, or Google is not evil from their charter years ago. Of course, so they're going to be looking Google at everything. Evil. Yeah. So they use your data from Chrome for ranking. So based on all your browsing, they know everything that's happening. They use that for ranking. I don't know why people are surprised about that.
So just to be clear, is Google evil or not evil?
Of course they're evil. Okay. But that's part of the territory. The other thing too is really, really keep this in mind. Again, Captain Obvious one, but make sure your website is fast and works on Chrome because clearly they're using the Chrome browser data for ranking.
There you go. Number 9, Freshness matters. Yeah. So Google looks at dates in the byline. I think we talked about that, right? A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So this is this is very interesting. Like, so we've got some pages that we've had. Like, for example, They Ask You Answer. We rank really, really well. And the other day I noticed it's another partner. They're actually in Europe. Really nice guys, actually. We've got really detailed data on They Ask You Answer content, workshops and whatever. But we've been doing this for a long time, and some of these articles are 2 years old. I noticed that they put something out. It was actually very light. Right now, according to Google's algorithm, if Google notices enough people jumping in and out, it actually will demote them because they're not spending time there. But at the moment, they outranked us, and I'm like, why is that happening? And it's because it's a fresh page.
Yeah.
So make changes, right? If you've got these pages, and we've got a lot of these, Semi, that like are OG pages that are ranking, people really struggle to outrank us. Don't rest on that. Go in, make some changes, maybe change the byline of the date and create a URL that redirects the old one to the new one. Do that shit. Make some changes.
Yeah.
There's pages I already know, Semi, that I want to go in and make some changes.
Services stuff.
Almost to trick Google. Like make it, don't just put like a full stop and delete a full stop, but like a few changes to show Google that it's fresh. Change the date, especially for blogs, because that, my friends, impacts your rankings.
So it's not like forget, you just review it.
Yeah.
Finally, is page titles still matter?
Yeah, man. This one, like some of this shit is proving me wrong. It's going to make me look like a hypocrite because I believed Google. I believed, Matt Cutts and the other dude, John Mueller. They said this stuff doesn't matter, but apparently it does. Like, so that means having keywords in your page titles is important. Again, we don't know how heavy it is, and don't go ahead and pay some crappy agency online or on, just to change your page titles. Like that's not going to be enough, guys.
Yeah.
But the point is don't ignore it.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
So that was 10. Like there was a lot there. We went through a lot of data, Semi and I, so hopefully you guys appreciated it. So we went through a lot of data. We feel like these 10 are the ones that if you made it, there's other stuff too, like images. Images should be good quality, but don't make them too good quality because it'll slow down your page. But these are things that if you do, you're going to be in sync and in tune with the Google algorithm.
Absolutely. Still thriving, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Buzz. There you
go.
All right,
guys. Thank you so much, Semi.
Likewise.
Thanks for everyone for listening, and we'll join you again for another episode of Inbound Buzz.
Take care, Mubs.
Thanks for listening to Inbound Buzz. Learn anything? Return the favor by spreading the word. Want to make your mark in digital? Need help with your digital strategy, inbound, and marketing automation efforts? Then visit redpandas.com.au and be sure to tune in next time for another Inbound Buzz hit.